Hey guys, just checking it's recording. I had to change because it's a different day and because my camera ran out of battery, so I didn't really have any choice really but to do the second part a different day, because that day I didn't have much time left to finish the video. So what I was saying was I passed I can't even remember what I was talking about. I passed 2 more subjects out of the 5 and I went to the next year. And that's really how school works. You have to pass 8 subjects to go to the next year, although you can pass with 7 if you're lucky. Right, so what have I explained already? I've explained about the school system. I've explained about reading. I'll explain about homework then. Right, so when I started here, they gave me loads and loads of homework. So what I do, well, I don't now because I can do it without Google Translate. But Google Translate, although sometimes it's really rubbish because it translates something and it's not correct. It is really rubbish sometimes, but really, unless you want to use a dictionary, that is the only easiest solution you've got. Unless you can get someone to help you who speaks both languages, like a translator, then that would be really helpful. But in my case, I didn't have that, so what I had to do was use Google Translate. And I still do sometimes, hardly ever, but there is always one question where I'm like, what? And here they give you school books. I'll get them actually. Wait, I can't get it. Ugh. So this is my physics book, and like they have questions, like each topic they have questions at the end, and I don't think it has the answers in the book. No. Although last year in my maths book they actually had the answers in them, so that was kind of easy. But so it wouldn't be necessarily in your case, but because I don't know how your books are, but this is what mine are like. So for each subject, like each topic, at the end they have some questions, like this, right? And there's like loads and loads of questions. And so this is what I did to help me with studying. So if I'm studying a specific topic, then I will practice studying using, well, after I've studied and looked and studied and memorised most of it, I would pick questions from here and then test myself, right? And because there are questions in here, they will be somewhere throughout that topic, the answer. You just have to look for it. Like here, for example, the first question, it says, ¿Cuáles son los componentes de una disolución? So, what are the components of a dissolution? I guess that's how you say it. That's the other thing. When you're learning language, and say you're learning physics, biology, anything like that, there's no point really searching what the complex words you learn are in English, because it doesn't really make a difference. You're learning that language and you don't really need to know what it is in English, because you're in that country, and you know, if you learn it in English, you might forget it in Spanish. So when it comes to complex scientific words, what I've learned in Spanish, I never learn them in English really. I can explain what the function is in English, but I just don't always know the name. Right, and then I've got biology here, and that's a lot better because it has so many pictures and stuff, and well, it's exactly the same thing. And each at the bottom of the page they have questions as well, not there, here. But that's usually the questions we get for homework. But if the teacher says study this, then look at the questions in the book or find a quiz on the internet or something, and do it and try and, memorise that. Well, then I have my lengua book, which is Spanish and literature, the language Spanish, so it's like the equivalent of English class in England or wherever, or America, but obviously Spanish. So that I find that one of the hardest subjects because it's so complex with the verbs and everything you learn, and they do a lot. They do this thing called syntaxis and syntagmas, which is like the analysis of sentences, and it might sound easy, like you can say that's a verb, that's a pronoun, that's an adjective, but that is the most hardest thing in the world. Right, and then I just have my geography book, and I have here a little bookmark I made of Divergent. It's got a crease in there, but yeah. So, right, and now I'm going to talk about studying tips. What I use, and I think this is one of the best methods, there's this website called Quizlet.com, and you can type in your own questions, and you can do like flashcards with it, and loads of different games to help you memorise, and matching, and loads of things, and it's really good. It really helps me. I don't always use that. I've used that a few times, but it's really, really beneficial. And the other thing I use is actual flashcards, and these are so cheap. I buy these like a massive pack, like that, for about £1.50, so like €2, €2.50, and it's so cheap, and there's so many. And well, I prefer to get coloured ones. I have some coloured ones here, because it makes it a little bit more exciting. That's another thing. When you study, try and use colour, because it really makes you remember and helps you a lot, and makes you a bit more interested in it. Because your brain, when you read something in colour, it memorises the colour. So when you study, when you do the exam, you'll think, oh, that card was pink. Oh, it's this. Do you know what I mean? It will help you. Well, that's what I do. I don't know whether this will help everybody, but this is just the tips I do. Right, and I'll just get my folder, massive folders. Oh, right. This is my folder for the first 2 years of school I did, but technically I only did 1 year, but because I started school just before the end, I had to study a lot, so that's why I've got so much stuff. This isn't really organised because I've just dumped everything in there, but I will show you with my one from this year, which is really organised. So, as I said before, this may not be beneficial to you, but what I do when I study as well, like I said, I make flashcards, but I also, let me turn the music down, I also write